Hey, here we go. So every journey has a beginning, and the beginning in regards to this is to install the software required. So we're going to install Flutter. It uses the Dart language, I believe, so I don't think I need to install Dart. I think I just need to install Flutter. If I did need to install Dart though, we can just go to, I believe it's dart.dev. But as I say, I don't believe we need to do that, so we just need to install Flutter. So let's start, shall we? So come to flutter.dev and click the get started, and then I'm going to install it on Windows today. In fact, I've already installed it. I'm just going to show you, the steps so that you know where I've began. Mac, obviously, click on Mac. But yeah, so we come to this page, and the first thing we need to do, if you're not using Windows 10, which I am, you need to get PowerShell, a really good useful tool. I use that quite a lot anyway. And then the next thing is we need to get Git, apparently, as we step through this. Also note that you do need at least 400 megabyte, but a lot of the examples and things I've seen talk about this say that you probably need more, like about 10 gigabyte of space, because you need to install Android Studio, etc., which we'll come to in a minute. So you need to get Git, and then you could actually step over these two and use Git to get your Flutter, but I like to do it the way, through the steps that they have. So I then downloaded the zip file and I unzipped it. They recommend unzipping it to they've used source Flutter. I've used a directory called development Flutter, because I like to keep things in development under a folder called development. And then once you've done that, what you need to do is you need to update your path, which I've not done yet. So if we type env to get to our environment variables, and then we go to our I can never remember which one it is now. Here you go, environment variables. I missed that one completely. And then obviously we want to add it to this path variable here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab this string here, and then all I want to do is I just want to edit my path variable, and I want to you can tell I don't do this very often. I think I'll add a new, and then I just want to go add that, click OK, and then OK and OK. So hopefully that's worked. So it should actually be in my path. So if I went to CMD and I went Flutter, I believe it is, modernized version, and there we go, finally it came back. Tells me I'm running 1.17.1, which I believe was the latest version here as of today's date. So I should be able to type in Flutter Doctor now and see that. This seems to take a while for some of them to run. There we go. So this tells me the things that need to be are installed, I believe, with the tick, and then need to be installed. So it can't find the Android SDK, which we will install the Android Studio to get all this stuff, and the same as, let's say, there, the Studio. I am running VS Code. It does say that the extension not installed, but I'm going to show that in a second. It obviously says there you can do that by going to this, but I believe that if I go to my Visual Studio Code and we go to plugins, if I type in Flutter there, and then I can see that I've got this Flutter here, so I can install that. And then I believe if I type in Dart, I don't know if I need the Dart one, but I will. It's already installed now. It must have installed as part of Flutter. So now, if I was to rerun the Doctor again, hopefully it should show me a tick in there. So here we go. I've got the tick in there. So I'm going to be using Visual Studio Code for my development environment, because I actually prefer to use this over the Android Studio, although the Android Studio is fine. There may be times I'll use Android Studio purely because some of the examples might need me or ask me to use that, but I'm hopefully going to use this Visual Studio Code. And there is here in this Visual Studio page telling you how to kind of use the Android Emulator through Visual Studio Code, and it does say that you need Android Studio installed anyway. So I will be installing Android Studio, and you can get to that from actually the Flutter page. It gives you the links and how to set it up, etc. So I'll be doing that as well. But anyway, this is just a kind of the beginning, as it were, of my journey, and I just thought I'd share that with you. So hopefully coming forward we can start putting some code together.